Hi, folks. This is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, we spoke of this a few months ago, but I really, really believe I'm discovering more people telling me that if they're able to take a guide, it can make all the difference between whether they have a perceiving good trip or not a good trip. Now, I can be very specific right now. There was a guy that I talked to recently. He's one of the heads of Boutique Airlines. He loves this area, but he keeps saying, oh, I want to experience some fish. I want to experience some fish. Well, he's typical of so many people that will come to a new area. You may go there and you may think, oh boy, I can catch the same size and beautiful fish like I see on TV or I see these people catching. I mean, we've got the best fishing maybe in the world right up here. We've got wonderful big bass, biggest smallmouth that people could ever catch. And smallmouth bass really reign supreme because they're a special species. They fight more. They're stronger. They're beautiful. I mean, you can't catch these fish in a lot of parts of the country, and that's why we're having so many tournaments here. But the average person that would come here, no matter how wonderful our fishing is, there's so much water. And remember, most water doesn't have any fish. 80% of the water, 90% of the water that you go to doesn't contain life. I mean, no fish there. And so it's important to be able to find those fish. And if you have a guide, now let's think a bit about why a guide is so critical. Number one, a guide does the same thing every day, no different than somebody that goes to a plant and builds the same part of some kind of equipment every day, or no different than anybody, a singer. If you're practicing your singing every day or whatever instrument you play, you're going to get better and better at it. And so a guide should know more about the water that we have to fish than anybody else because every day they're perfecting their craft. And so if you come to an area and you can hire a guide, it can take so much of the guesswork away. I mean, you could spend days here and not learn where those fish are, not learn how to fish those fish in the right way. Our fishing condition here is different than most other places. We've got, and I'm talking about the St. Lawrence River right now, we've got clear, crystal clear water. That poses its own difficulties because the fish can see you better. They can see phony stuff better. Number two, the currents are so strong that if you're not used to fishing current, you don't know how to present your lure. Number three, you don't know what lures the fish might want to eat. A guide knows what worked yesterday and the day before and the day before can make such a difference. And so I highly will recommend to people that I talk to in the future, you know, if you can, it really would help you if you could take a guide out. Maybe even just for the first day. It at least will show you what type of water you should devote most of your time with. So, you know, here's what I really feel, though. I feel that in this area, the people are friendlier. They present more of a welcome than most other parts of the country. And I've had so many people tell me that. Well, then a guide that's in this area, number one, is going to know where to take people fishing. But I think one of the most important aspects of fishing with a guide is if that guide can make you feel comfortable, make you feel confident, tell you stories. It won't matter whether you catch as many fish or not. If you have a great day spent with somebody you're meeting for the first time, you may become friends, but I think this is critical. I've often thought, my buddy Dave Swanson, who was the president of North Country Savings for years, I often thought that if he could guide, it wouldn't matter if people caught many fish. He makes people comfortable. And that's a critical thing. So if you would like to be a guide, I would try to help you in any way because we really do need more guides in this area. It's one of my sort of priorities in going forward is that we make it that much attractive that more people might want to become a guide because we can help them to promote their business. But with all that said, I do feel that in the fishing world, being able to take a guide is critical. And folks, I did over 600 TV shows in my life, and I can't think of very many of them that I didn't have somebody to guide me, because I'm going to different places all over the continent. I don't know about the fishing there. I've heard it's good, but if I have a guide that can take me out, it made it possible for us to have 600 shows done through, because that wasn't easy. But because of the guides, it made it possible. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report.